Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pit. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Wildcard weekend upsets to bat. I mean, we hit so many upsets this year. This isn't the best week for upsets, but I'm going to go over your options. First game, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Bucs. Right now, it's Tampa plus 2.5. I think Tampa Bay pulls the upset. And listen, I'm not saying Tampa Bay's the better team by any means, but when you look at the psychology of this game, I really truly believe it favors Tampa. Am I the only one who feels like the Cowboys are in a tailspin? Am I the only one concerned about their defense the last 6-7 weeks? Am I the only one concerned about Dak Prescott's play? I mean, Dak Prescott just hasn't been good enough this year, and we can say what we will about the Bucs. We know their offensive line is terrible, but I do think they rise to the occasion here. I think this is the upset everyone should be watching. Main matchup of this game is Zeke Elliott, that Dallas offensive line against the Buccaneers front seven. And I know this Bucs front seven isn't as good as it was last year, but something tells me they really stop this run, they play physical, and they get in Dallas's way. And I want to ask you, the viewer at home, a question. If the Buccaneers stop the Cowboys' run game, who would you pick? And I've been looking at the defensive line for Tampa. I've been looking at this Cowboys offensive line. I think the Bucs can win this battle. I think Vita Vea's finally starting to play like the Vita Vea of last year, and I think that's a critical matchup in the middle. And this Todd Bowles defense, the coaching's been an absolute disaster. I mean, we can talk about Leftwich on the other side of the ball. We can talk about that Tampa Bay O-line. But one thing that has been a disaster has been Todd Bowles' defense. But one thing they do good is they keep run fits, they stay disciplined, and they clog running lanes. And I think that's the main ingredient, the main spice you need to throw to beat this Cowboys team. And speaking of throwing, I can't be the only one nervous about Dak Prescott. And I'm not trying to read too much into that Washington Commanders game. I don't want you to throw down money on the Bucs just because the Cowboys looked like shit last week. I don't want you to do that. But one reason why I like the Bucs this game is I just feel like the Cowboys haven't played good ball. When was the last time they played good defensive football? When was the last time Dak Prescott had a clean, precise game at quarterback? What? Against Minnesota? How long ago was that? I mean, what was that, like late October? And I love this Cowboys squad, but it just feels like they're reeling psychologically. I don't know if they can recover and get ready for this game. And we talk about Tom Brady, and I don't want to just say, oh, Brady's going to win. But let's be honest, man. I think this is a one-possession game in the fourth quarter, and I want to put my chips with Brady. The main matchup concern for the Bucs offensive line is right tackle. They're not getting any blocking there. Donovan Smith's been bad on the other side all year, but there is a joker card. I believe Johnson's going to come in and play in the interior. He hasn't played all year. I think that helps. Give me the Bucs in an upset at home. Cowboys go home. Mike McCarthy fired. Next game, we got the New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings. Giants are +3. I am not picking the Giants this game. And I know a lot of you are. But I'm going to use this time to talk you out of it. Listen, I understand Minnesota is a team that relies on late game magic, late game situational football, and they're not the most dominant team in this league. And you know what? They might be the least dominant 12-game winner we've seen in this league. But we have to have a little bit of perspective with the Giants, man. their defense the last 8 weeks of this year just isn't good. And they play a lot of tight man-to-man. They blitz a lot, but you're going to have some issues because they don't got a good secondary. Adoree Jackson should be back, which will obviously improve it. But we could talk about Jefferson. We could talk about Thielen. But I think the joker card for the Vikings in this game is Osborne. I just don't see anyone who can cover them. Giants have been an absolute disaster at nickelback this year. They've cycled 6 or 7 players. I'm not exaggerating. And if you're betting the Giants, you're just looking for day ball magic. Daniel Jones isn't that good. And I know it's easy to criticize Kirk Cousins. You think I don't get frustrated with Kirk Cousins? But can anyone just take a deep breath and understand Daniel Jones this season hasn't been all that good, and that offense cooks because Dable. And it's easy to look good against the bad Vikings defense, but I just think this Vikings offense scores more. And when you look at the first matchup, which was in Minnesota, which was later in the year, the Vikings were up 2 scores with like 2:35 in the game. I just want everyone to remember that. It wasn't all that close a game until the last 2 minutes. Give me the Vikings to win. I don't think it's an upset. And then looking at the rest of these games, I'm going to do a separate video on the Chargers-Jags. But let's be realistic. Dolphins and Bills, there's 0 chance of an upset. Ravens and Bengals was interesting, but it looks like Lamar Jackson's ruled out. And then 49ers, Seahawks. I get it. Like, Seahawks, they get good coaching from Pete Carroll. Geno's played good this year. But I just think their defense is so damn bad, especially their front 7. I just see the 49ers running for 200-plus rush yards. And it's hard to pull an upset when you're in that situation. So for me, man, you could pick the Jags. I think the Chargers win. I got the Bucs. That's the upset of the week. We hit the Lions last week. Let's get this money. Share the videos. The home of the money pick. More upsets coming this week. Also, throw a little bit of money for the Vikings first half spread.